Hi, my name is Hadley Hooper, and today I'll be giving a persuasive speech on how princesses are good role models for young women. Ever since I was a little girl, I was always in love with the movie Sleeping Beauty. I really loved Aurora and how she portrayed herself, and I wanted a big, pretty, poofy pink dress just like her, and I wanted to be able to sing to animals like she did, and the way she just moved so gracefully, I wanted that too. And in the end, she got her prince and she got her happy ending, and I wanted that when I was older. Princesses can create a long-time impact on little girls, and as for myself, I have proof of this. From my experience as a little girl growing up on these movies, and from the experiences of many others, I'll discuss how these role models can be caused, the importance of these role models, and how they can improve. So these role models, Disney movies often portray princesses for little girls, and these princesses have a lot of traits. They're very beautiful, they're very kind to everyone, and when little girls see this, they'll see the princess, they'll see her get her happy ending, and then it'll make them look up to those princesses. It'll make them want to, follow that path. For example, in Cinderella, Cinderella is constantly belittled by the stepfamily, by her stepmother and stepsisters, and they constantly make her clean and constantly treat her poorly. But in the end, Cinderella, she goes to the ball and she gets her happy ending. And the whole time, she was never mean to them. She was constantly showing them kindness. She would constantly clean up after them and just do her duties. And so she got her happy ending, and then the stepfamily got what they deserved. And little girls, they grow up seeing this, and they see the impact it has. And these traits, them growing up on it from such a little age, can grow them into what they will be as adults. From the ages from when they're newborn to the age of 5, that's the most developing time in a human brain. And these girls, they're watching this on TV, and they're getting all this information. And so their brain's going to develop, and it's going to be influenced by these princesses and how they're acting, and the kindness they show, and the gracefulness they portray, and everything like that. And they're going to pick up on these traits from these girls. And these traits, these role models, they're really important because having something like that is super important for a little girl. Not everyone has a motherly figure or some woman to look up to. And so having these movies like this can help them, focus and grow up to be mannerly and responsible like they see these princesses are. And Disney is able to portray these princesses how they want. And you can't do that with real-life role models. Real-life role models, kids are going to see their flaws and their mistakes because you can't, put a filter on real life. And so that's what happens if a kid slips up on a swear word or follows through on some parent's behavioral towards how they react to a situation. It's because a parent can't put the filter on them all the time. But with movies and with these Disney princesses, they constantly have this filter on them, and they're constantly portrayed the whole time as perfect to these kids. And so these kids see this and they'll follow it, and they'll be able to not see any bad. And throughout time, though, these princesses have had flaws, and it's getting better with time. But in the beginning, with Snow White, her allowing herself just to be just a housewoman to 7 strangers, and then it was her beauty that was her only focus throughout the whole movie. And it's a lot of damsel in distress qualities in a lot of these earlier princesses, which with society, it fits society's time at that time. But now as we have progressively changed, and with movements like feminism movements, these movies have started turning directions to make these princesses able to carry themselves to where they don't need someone to save them. And in fact, they're probably even doing saving most of the time. Examples for this is in Milan, which was in the 90s. She goes out for her family and risks her life for her family to fight for her country and ends up, helping save her own country. And these movies had just started progressing and getting better, which with time helps girls through more generations grow. And for another example, we have Belle, which is one of the beginnings. And, Belle in her movie, she risked it all to go to her father, to go save her father from the castle. And she turns down Gaston, who is all looks at my muscles and acts very big and bold. But she turns him down when all the other women want him, and she goes and saves her father from this castle with the beast. And eventually she looks past the beast, physical traits and what happened to him in the past, and she even helps change him into a better man and the actual physical man. The next slide we have Rapunzel from Tangled, and she was trapped in her house for most of her life. But then a criminal comes in and, tries stealing from her, and she helps save herself. And she has a bunch of physical traits or characteristic traits. Like, she's very creative. She constantly reads and she constantly paints when she's stuck in the house. She's very determined. She wants to, explore the world, and she wants to see what's out there. And she's very helpful. She saves people, but she does it in a non-violent way. Like, for example, they go into the bar and she helps save all of them. She helps save her and Flynn and the horse from all these bar people, but she does it with kindness. The next slide. And then we have Moana, who from a very young age, she helped rule the island with her family, and she was always very kind. And she went out by herself to protect her people. She's a very selfless princess, and she solved all her battles without violence too. In the end, she help save the island by peace. And a lot of these Disney movies, they carry a lot of stereotypes, and we'll see in this video. Okay, thank you. Only have 8 seconds left, so we're just going to